You know how it is. Every year, Pantone announces its color of the year, and the entire design world just goes into a frenzy. Brands, developers, everyone's scrambling to figure out what it means and, more importantly, how to use it. But what if they're all asking the wrong questions? What if there's a hidden strategy behind the color?
Seriously, what if the real story here isn't the shade itself, but the signal it's sending us? What if it's less about a trend we're all supposed to follow and more about a really deep shift in what we all want and feel? That's the big question we're going to dive into today.
All right, let's start with that scene we all know so well, the annual color frenzy. For product developers, for designers, the question isn't just, okay, what's the color? It's, what on earth am I supposed to do with this? So for 2026, the color on everyone's lips is Cloud Dancer. But this choice isn't just about what looks good on a mood board. No, it's a huge signal about where the entire market is heading. Because really, this is about so much more than just another shade of white. Cloud Dancer isn't simply a color. You have to see it as a reflection of a massive cultural movement that's happening right now. And if you look at the official definition, it gets right to the heart of it. It's not described by its pigment, its technical makeup. It's described by its purpose. It symbolizes quietness, simplicity, and this deep need we all have for an emotional reset. It's basically a feeling captured in a color. This insight actually comes from Annie Zhang. She's a CEO who's been in the gift industry for 2 decades, so she knows her stuff. And she puts it perfectly. In this crazy, noisy world we live in, a gentle shade like this isn't just nice to look at. It's a necessary invitation to find a little bit of calm. And this is where all the dots start to connect. Cloud Dancer is a direct response to a consumer shift away from just constant visual overload and a move towards something you could call mental minimalism. People are actively looking for products that give them a sense of relief and clarity. It's a demand for a kind of calm luxury and intentional design, things that are thoughtful, not just loud. So, okay, if this color really represents a feeling that people are craving, how do brands actually deliver on that? Well, this brings us to a completely new way of thinking about color strategy. It's really about building a system, not just chasing a trend. So here are the 4 key steps. First, and this is the most important one, define the feeling you want to evoke. The color comes second. Then use that color as structure, like a visual binder that holds everything together, not just a splash of decoration. Third, let texture do some of the heavy lifting. Think matte finishes, linen, frosted glass. And finally, you have to apply this thinking everywhere, across all your touch points, from your website to your retail space, to create a truly coherent experience. You can really see the shift in mindset here. The old way, the traditional way, was just to focus on the color itself for a bit of novelty. But the new strategic approach, it's all about focusing on the emotion behind it. Instead of just adding more and more colors, you simplify your palette for coherence. And instead of just short-term seasonal campaigns, you aim for long-term visual consistency. It's a huge shift from just chasing what's new to building what's truly meaningful. And listen, this isn't just some philosophical exercise. Adopting this kind of mindset has real, tangible benefits for the bottom line. We're talking about making smarter business decisions through smarter design. A color like Cloud Dancer is what you'd call a low-risk innovation. Why? Because it's timeless and cross-seasonal. Think about it. Unlike a bright, super trendy color that might be out of style in 6 months, this soft off-white stays relevant all year round. That seriously reduces the risk of betting big on a short-lived fad. And this approach benefits the whole team. For a product manager, it's the perfect anchor color that can unify entire product lines. And for a sourcing manager, communicating the mood is so much more effective than just sending a Pantone number. Plus, this kind of versatile choice leads to way less waste and leftover stock, which is a huge win for both design and efficiency. Okay, so let's zoom out for a second and look at the bigger picture. This one color trend is actually pointing to major forces that are going to shape the market for years to come. It really boils down to 3 key takeaways for 2026. First, emotional design is everything. Consumers want products that calm them, not just excite them. Second, visual systems thinking is absolutely crucial. Retailers want to see cohesive brand stories that work across entire collections. And third, a sustainable aesthetic is really taking hold. These calm, timeless colors just naturally align with things like eco-friendly packaging and products that are designed to last. And all of this brings us to a very simple but powerful truth. Trends fade. They always do. But a well-designed system, one that's built on a clear emotional purpose and visual consistency, that endures. So I'll leave you with this question to think about. The next time a new trend is announced, are you just going to see it as a color to copy? Or will you see it as a prompt to ask a much deeper, much more important question? What do people really want to feel right now? And how can we design for that feeling? Because the answer to that, well, that's where the real innovation lies.